The night was heavy. The clock ticked past midnight, yet the house refused to rest. From the nursery came the cries, piercing,
endless, heart-wrenching. The baby's voice rose like a storm,
filling every corner with desperation. Her tiny hands clenched, face red, eyes brimming with tears that never stopped. The mother cradled her again and again, whispering lullabies that fell useless into the air. The father tried walking, rocking, humming tunes from his own childhood. Nothing worked. The baby's cries only grew sharper, echoing off the quiet walls. The exhaustion in the room was suffocating. Shadows stretched across the floor, trembling with every flicker of the lamp. Outside, the world slept, unaware of the storm inside this small home. But there was another presence here. On the edge of the crib, perched silently, was the cat. Its fur glowed in the dim lamplight,
eyes two burning embers of green. It had been watching for hours, unmoving, patient. The parents barely noticed,
too consumed by their helplessness. But the cat noticed everything. The child's trembling fists, the wet tracks of tears, the ragged breathing that spoke of exhaustion, and the cries that would not stop. The cat blinked slowly. Then it tilted its head. Something was about to change. Something
no one in that room could have imagined. The
sound was unbearable, a sharp wail that tore through the silence of the night like glass shattering. Each cry felt heavier than the one before, pulling the parents deeper into despair. The mother's eyes were red, not just from fatigue, but from guilt that she couldn't calm her child. The father rubbed his temples, whispering, "Why won't she stop?
Why can't we help her?"
The baby's sobs rolled like thunder, loud, then soft, then loud again, shaking the crib. Every attempt at comfort failed. Rocking, patting,
singing, nothing broke through. The sound filled the house,
reaching even the darkest corners, refusing to be ignored. The parents whispered to each other,
voices trembling, "Maybe something is wrong with her."
But even they didn't believe that. She was healthy. She was loved, and yet she cried endlessly. The air grew heavy with frustration and fear. Time slowed, each minute stretching into eternity. The father checked the clock. It had only been 10 minutes since he last
looked. It felt like hours. The cries
were not just noise, they were daggers piercing the heart. The mother rocked harder, humming louder, tears streaming. The father paced the room, helpless. And then, for a moment, silence fell. They both froze. Hope flickered in their tired eyes. But the silence was broken almost immediately. Another cry.
Louder than before. The parents sank back into despair. But the cat?
The cat didn't move. It just kept watching. From the crib's edge, the cat's eyes gleamed in the dim glow. Every cry made its ears twitch. Every hiccup made its tail flick. It was still, but not detached. It was observing, studying, almost calculating. The parents barely noticed its presence, too lost in their battle against exhaustion. But the baby noticed. Her tiny eyes, blurred with tears, glanced toward the shadowed figure. The cat blinked slowly.
Once, twice, its gaze never left hers. The cries didn't stop.
But they shifted. The baby's attention had found something new, something constant. The cat leaned closer to the crib's railing, whiskers trembling in the faint air. It did not reach in, not yet. It just stared, a sentinel in the shadows. The father glanced once,
muttering, "The cat again?"
The mother whispered, "Let it be. Maybe it wants to see what's happening." Neither expected more, but there was more, much more. The cat's tail swayed once, slowly, deliberately. Its ears perked forward as the baby screamed again. Its gaze softened, almost glowing, and then it moved. A paw lifted cautiously, silently, and the night shifted. The cat's paw landed gently on the crib's railing. No claws.
No force, just a soft placement, as if asking for permission. The baby blinked through her tears,
Pausing mid-cry, her gaze fixed on the paw, then lifted to the glowing eyes above it. For the first time that night, her screams faltered into whimpers. Her little hand reached out, trembling.
unsure. Her fingers brushed fur, warm, soft, alive. The cat didn't move away. It stayed, letting her explore.
Her tiny hand gripping patches of fur. The baby gasped between hiccups, still teary but quieter now. The parents froze in disbelief. They hadn't seen their baby pause like this all night. The mother whispered, She's calmer." The father stared, speechless. The cat tilted its head further,
Leaning closer into the baby's space, and then it made a sound, not a meow, not a hiss, but a deep, steady rumble from within, a purr. The sound filled the room.
soft yet powerful. It was unlike any lullaby the parents had sung. It was primal,
Ancient, soothing. The baby's cries weakened,
her breath slowing, her eyes still wet.
widened in wonder. Her little fingers tightened their grip on the cat's fur. And the miracle began. The purr that silenced the storm, the purr grew louder,
Vibrating through the wooden crib. It was steady,
rhythmic, like a hidden heartbeat beneath the chaos. The baby froze at first, startled by the new sound, but then her lips trembled.
and she hiccuped softly. Her cries fell into smaller sobs, each weaker than the last. Her eyes, swollen and tired, blinked slowly at the glowing figure above her. The cat stayed still, purring, its gaze unbroken. The parents watched in disbelief, too afraid to even breathe. They had tried everything, but nothing had worked. Now, this, a cat's purr calming their child? It felt impossible, yet undeniable. The baby's fists unclenched, fingers opening one by one. Her little hand rested on the cat's paw,
As if she'd found an anchor. The cries faded further.
replaced by tiny whimpers. The cat leaned closer, its whiskers brushing the baby's forehead. The sound deepened, filling the silence where screams once lived. The baby let out a small sigh. Her chest rose and fell in slower rhythm. The storm of the night
Had met its match. The purr was not just a
sound, it was a cure. The father wiped his eyes, whispering, "I don't believe this." The mother covered her mouth, fighting back tears. The room, once filled with noise and despair, now felt sacred, all because of a creature they never expected to intervene. The baby's sobs were gone now, replaced by calm breathing. The cat curled itself on the crib's edge, tail tucked neatly. Still purring, still watching, it was as though it had sworn an oath to protect the child. The parents looked at each other,
speechless. The baby's lips curled faintly into a smile, and in that moment,
it felt like the house itself sighed in relief that the cat had done what they could not. The night belonged to it now, and so did their gratitude, but the story was far from over. The bond had only just
begun. The mother could barely whisper, "Do you see this?"
Her voice trembled, almost breaking. The father nodded, too stunned for words. He had spent hours pacing, doubting, fearing, but now the proof was before him. His child was calm. And the reason was unbelievable. A cat, their cat. The mother's tears spilled freely, running down her cheeks, not from frustration now, but from relief and awe. The father stepped closer to the crib, peering inside. The baby's eyes were half closed, her hand still gripping fur. Her breathing was soft, steady, peaceful. The sound of the purr wrapped the room like a blanket. The father whispered, "She trusts it."
More than us tonight. The mother touched his arm, nodding silently. They stood side by side,
Watching the miracle unfold, every fear they'd carried for hours melted away. The exhaustion still weighed heavy, but their hearts felt lighter. How could something so simple, so unexpected bring such peace? The father chuckled weakly. "She's chosen her guardian." The mother smiled through tears, whispering, "Maybe it chose her first." The cat blinked slowly, acknowledging their presence. It did not move, did not stop its song. Its loyalty was unwavering. Written in silence, the parents understood. This was no ordinary night. This was a revelation, and the bond between baby and cat was undeniable. The mother leaned against the father, whispering, "We'll never forget this." He wrapped his arm around her, eyes fixed on the scene. The night had tested them,
Broken them, but the cat had stitched them whole again. And the cries?
They were gone. All that remained was a harmony they never imagined. Hours slipped away unnoticed. The clock's hands moved, but no one cared to see. The baby lay still resting, her lips parted slightly in deep calm. The cat had not moved from its place. Like a sentinel, it remained, eyes half closed yet ever watchful. Each time the baby stirred, the purr deepened, humming against the air. The child would sigh, relax and sink back into slumber. It was a cycle, a dance only the cat understood. The parents sat quietly nearby, unable to take their eyes off the pair. They were witnesses to a miracle. The father whispered, "It's like it knows her soul." The mother nodded slowly. "It's more than knowing.
It's protecting." The air in the room had changed. No longer heavy, no longer filled with despair. It was lighter now,
Glowing with something sacred. The shadows on the wall didn't seem so frightening anymore. The silence wasn't suffocating. It was comforting. Because the silence was alive. Humming with purrs, the cat curled its tail carefully.
never brushing the baby too hard. Its
Whiskers twitched each time she moved. Every sigh from the child was met with a steady
rhythm of sound. It was as if the cat spoke a language no human could, a language of comfort.
beyond words. The parents leaned closer, hand in hand, tears in their eyes. They had thought they knew their pet, but tonight they saw it in a new light, not as an animal, but as a guardian, a being sent, perhaps. For this very moment, the baby shifted slightly, lips curling in a tiny smile. The cat blinked once. Slowly, approvingly, the mother whispered, "It's her angel," the father added, "and ours." The room belonged to peace now, a peace no human could have created. Only the guardian could. The sky outside began to pale. The moon sank, and the first threads of dawn crept through the curtains. Soft rays brushed the nursery walls, warming the shadows. The baby slept soundly, untroubled, safe. Her breaths rose and fell gently, matching the rhythm of the purr beside her. The parents, though exhausted, sat wide awake, afraid to close their eyes. Not out of fear, but out of awe. They didn't want to miss a single moment of this. The father whispered, "Do you think?"
It will always protect her.
The mother smiled faintly. "I think it already has." The cat raised its head, sensing the change in light. Its eyes glowed briefly in the dawn's glow. Sharp and knowing, it glanced at the parents, one slow blink.
As if to answer. The father gasped softly. "It's telling us!"
"She's safe." The mother nodded, wiping her tears. The cat returned to its post, curling on the crib's edge once again. It did not sleep, not fully. It remained vigilant.
As if the night had given it purpose. The cries were gone now.
Silence wasn't empty. It was golden, the house that had been filled with despair.
Hours ago was now filled with gratitude. The
Parents held hands tighter.
hearts heavy with thankfulness. They knew what they had seen. They knew they had been gifted something rare. The first light of dawn had not just ended a night, it had revealed a truth that sometimes
Love and protection come in the most unexpected forms, and that guardian angels don't always have wings. Sometimes they have whiskers, sometimes they purr, and sometimes they arrive when we need them most. The parents never forgot that lesson. The days that followed were different. The baby cried less, slept more soundly whenever she did stir in distress. The cat was the first to arrive. It climbed the crib's edge, purred softly, and she calmed instantly. The parents marveled at the pattern.
almost unable to believe it. It's like they're speaking to each other, the father whispered one night. Not with words, the mother replied.
But with something deeper. And she was right. The language between them was ancient, older than humans,
Older than memory, it was the language of touch, sound.
and presence. The cat's purr was not just noise, it was medicine. Its presence was not just company, it was comfort. The baby responded every time, as though she alone could understand. The parents often sat in silence, watching. It felt wrong to interrupt, like intruding on a sacred ritual. The bond grew stronger with each passing night. The baby smiled more often now. Her giggles echoed through the house, replacing the cries that once haunted it. The cat followed her everywhere, never straying far. Neighbors would visit,
Astonished by the sight, she never leaves the cat's side.
they would say, and the parents would only smile.
Knowingly, for they had seen the
Night it all began. The night the cries stopped. The night the cat revealed its gift, the whispers.
of this bond could not be explained, only felt, and those who saw it knew.
That love often hides in places we least expect, that miracles don't need grand stages. Sometimes they happen quietly, in a crib, in the dead of night, and the world never hears about them. But the hearts that do, they carry it forever. As weeks passed, the bond between the baby and the cat grew stronger. Wherever the baby crawled, the cat followed. Whenever she laughed, the cat blinked slowly as if smiling back, and when she cried, the purr always returned, wrapping her in invisible comfort. The parents no longer
Feared the endless nights. They knew their child had a guardian unlike any other. It wasn't just a pet anymore. It was
family, a protector chosen by fate. The baby trusted the cat with every fiber of her being, and the cat, it gave its heart in return. That night had been the beginning of something eternal, a friendship beyond words, beyond reason, beyond explanation, and no one who witnessed it would ever doubt the power of love again. That unforgettable night had begun in tears. A storm of cries, a sea of exhaustion, a house drowning in despair, but it ended with silence, calm, and a miracle no one expected. The baby cried all night, until the cat did something no one thought possible. It offered love, pure, unspoken, undeniable love. It reminded the parents of something they had forgotten, that sometimes comfort does not come from effort. It comes from presence, from being there, from understanding without needing words. The cat had taught them, and the baby, a truth that would last
forever. That family isn't always human. That
love wears many forms, and that miracles purr quietly in the dark. True love doesn't always
speak, it soothes. It doesn't always explain. It simply is that.
Night proved that even the smallest hearts beating in the quietest creatures can carry the power to heal. The baby found her peace not in lullabies, not in rocking arms, but in the steady hum of loyalty beside her, and from then on, the parents knew sometimes angels don't come with wings. Angels don't come with wings.